Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I am making up for some serious lost time this week. I have had 3 horrific days dealing with alpha-gal syndrome food reactions. I have lost so much time. I can't even describe it. It is so frustrating living and navigating life with this horrible disease that is spread by ticks. I've kind of come to the conclusion that food is poison and I don't want to ever eat again. But I'm feeling good today because I haven't had any food in my body for the last 24 hours. And I'm just gonna attack the front yard over here, try to get some mulch out, collect a bunch of seeds, and well, just try and get something done so that this week can be salvaged. So I hope you'll enjoy this mix mash video, watching me frantically work before I have to leave town to go to an event later on this afternoon. All right, I'm gonna put it on time lapse. Basically, my goal is just to clean up this edge of this part of the native border, collect all of the seed in these front borders, and cut down any of the unnecessary non-native annuals. That way the native plants will have the space they need to really be able to get established and start growing. So not terribly complicated, but definitely something that's been top on my list for many, many weeks. And I'm excited to get this tackled. Well, that was not a complicated task, and it's insane that it took me 3 days to be able to accomplish it, but I did get it accomplished, which is great. And just to show you what's in here, we've got phlox, glaberrima, Morris beard. We've got a lot of Pycnanthemum muticum, mountain mint, which is just spreading and taking over. We've got Scutellaria incana. We've got a bunch of different asters that I don't have well marked. Pink muley grass, white muley grass, more Pycnanthemum. Got a couple of other grasses, Buddleia gracilis, blonde ambition. One looks really good. There's a couple in here. We've got Aster ericoides snow flurry, which is this really kind of gentle ground cover, and some echinacea, which I don't remember the variety. And then coming up into this corner with the the Carex lurida and more Pycnanthemum. One of the more super frustrating long-term elements of this food allergy is the brain fog that you experience. I say one of, because every symptom I've had this week has been horrible and no one would ever choose to live a life like this. But I can't, my brain is not functioning properly at all. So excuse me if I continuously say the wrong thing, because that's just part of the recovery process from this. Now, I'm standing here very purposely. I have a lot of Chelsea chopping to do in this bed. Preston was over this week for his birthday, which was super exciting. We also celebrated the greenhouse build being finished. Of course, it's never finished because now I need electrical and plumbing, and I'm aiming now for events starting in September. That's just like a more realistic time frame. But we were both talking about the need for cutting back a lot of these natives now before they start to bloom and sort of flop over and get out of control. So I'm going to take that on in these beds as I also collect seed and pull out some of these spring annuals. And specifically here, I'm going to cut back this Solidago rugosa, and I'm going to cut it back like down to there. My gloves look the same color as the leaves, but so a pretty hard chop on that. I'm not touching the spirea. They're all just starting to bloom. I'm going to cut back a lot of these different asters. You can see they're really tall. They need to get chopped. The key element here is you've got to do it with plants that will divide. So like here you see Salvia azurea is starting to bloom. This piece here I can cut down. You can see where at the node new leaves are going to form. Someone asked about doing this on peonies, and no, this does not work on peonies. It only works on plants that are going to actually divide when you cut back that apical dominance. Now, the finches have absolutely destroyed my poppy crop, but I'm going to go ahead and harvest what I can. But you can see the ones that they've opened, there's like no seeds left whatsoever. It's really amazing. Preston was like, well, you said you wanted to create bird habitat. That's precisely what I have created here. Also, California poppies can start to be collected. See, the seed pods are very different in comparison to the true Pephaver. Eschscholtzia have these long cylindrical seed pods and they explode. So you want to get them at about this stage before they ripe, or before they're totally ripe. Put them in a bucket so when they open, the seeds stay where they're supposed to be. This border has a lot more to remove. All of the crimson clover, which the seed is just like you touch it and it comes off. I'm gonna try and be gentle with that because I don't really want it self-sowing everywhere. We've got tons of bachelor buttons that are also very much at the stage of like the seeds just pop right out. Someone asked about bachelor buttons being on an invasives list, and I looked it up and I haven't found it, but I could see how it could potentially get to that place. You know, my goal is that this bed isn't going to have room for all of these non-native annuals by next year. I'm not going to deny, though, that I really like the rainbow color that the annuals provide, but I definitely want to get these out before they start self-sowing and I perpetuate kind of more problems in the long run. All right, it's poppy collecting time, and I'm gonna go ahead and collect everything, even if they aren't brown, because I'm ripping out all the plants. And there are plenty of poppies for the finches to steal in other parts of the garden. I have never had this kind of bird competition, but as Preston said, my native borders are working out. Even the non-natives are feeding the birds. All right, I feel like this bed, I've done the necessary cutbacks. I've left some of the stuff that's still blooming of the annuals just because they look so pretty. And I've got a bunch of open space that I'm gonna go ahead and mulch while I've got the mulch wagon out here in the front yard. I'm gonna do one bed at a time. Pretty excited for this progress. Feel like I've gotten more done in the last hour than I have for the entire week. All right, get back on time lapse. Well, I hope you agree. This bed looks a lot neater and more organized with some cutbacks, getting all those poppies removed, and of course, a nice fine layer of mulch right along the edge. And that's really what my aim is for these beds, to keep them look neat and tidy, but not to overly fill with wood mulch because I don't think that's the best decision for this native plant palette. I can tell you one thing, it's really dry. Even though it's not terribly hot out, we have no humidity and the plants are wilting. So I'm gonna go ahead and get busy. I'm gonna make a separate video for that one to be able to show you how to collect all of the seeds of the different annuals that are growing in that bed. So I do hope you'll stay tuned to watch that. And as always, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy gardening.